Marvel's latest origin film in the MCU, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, is coming out on September 3rd. Disney and Marvel said we're allowed to drop our non-spoiler reviews today, so I'm going to let you know if this is one you should be looking forward to as a great next step in the MCU, or one that maybe falters at the finish line right after this. Hey, Outlaw Nation, it's the Outlaw John Rocha here with my review for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This is a non-spoiler review in case you're a little bit worried. But before we get into it, I want to remind you that it would be incredibly awesome if you all subscribed to the Outlaw Nation channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you know when we're dropping all the new content that we do here on the channel. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitch or subscribe to me on Twitch, you can head on over there, The Outlaw Nation, all one word, at The Outlaw Nation. Go and subscribe or follow me there, and head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/John Rocha. So much going on in the Patreon community there in the Outlaw Nation. Non-toxic, no drama, and a lot of fun. Those are the three tenets of the Outlaw Nation Discord, so come be a part of it. All right, let's get into my non-spoiler review for Shang-Chi.
Who are you?
Shang-Chi is directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. You may know him from Short Term 12, Just Mercy, or even Glass Castle, which is a film that came out a few years ago as well. This one stars Simu Liu as the titular Shang-Chi. We also got Awkwafina joining us for this ride as his best friend Katie. Tony Leung as Wenwu, the great Tony Leung, the legendary Tony Leung as Wenwu, his father. Also the legendary Michelle Yeoh as Ying Nang. Meng'er Zhang is in here as Xiling, his sister. Fala Chen is in here as Zhang Li, his mom, and Florian Munteanu, who some of you may remember from Creed 2 as Victor Drago, is in here as Razor Fist. The basic premise of this movie is Shang-Chi is living in San Francisco with his best friend Katie, and he's living a pretty normal life. But he is secretly the son of Wenwu, who is the leader of this mysterious criminal organization known as the Ten Rings. When his father's men show up to pull him back into this life that he left 10 years ago, things go from normal to insanely fantastical in a way that we've never seen in a Marvel movie before, and it leads to a final and astonishing confrontation that you will not soon forget. So let's get into some of the things that I liked about the movie. Number one is the acting. Simu Liu does a fantastic job here as Shang-Chi. He's caring, he's funny, and he's just an overall cool person to know, pretty relaxed, enjoys what he does, which is basically works as a valet parking cars. Katie does the same thing. They have a great relationship, and you can see that throughout their interactions throughout the movie for sure. But when it's time for him to get it on as a fighter, whoo, does Simu Liu go to a whole nother level. Does an excellent job bringing the ferocity, agility, and fun to the role when he's involved in those action sequences. We're going to talk about this action sequence in just a second. Plus, he hits the more emotional beats with an earnestness and a lightness that makes you truly care for him as a person and want to root for him as we go into this next phase of the MCU. So many people tweeted after the screenings that he was their new favorite Marvel superhero, and they can't wait to see what he does in the MCU, and I agree. Also, Tony Leung and Michelle Yeoh, they bring the best of their veteran talent and charm to their roles. Michelle Yeoh is doing her teacher thing so warmly and effectively. You immediately care for her. You immediately feel like you're in the right hands with someone like Michelle Yeoh and the character she's playing. Also, she doesn't age. Someone needs to find out what this woman is doing to look so incredibly gorgeous at her age. Tony Leung conveys this confident menace of Wenwu so well, but he also makes you believe in the love he has for his wife, Zhang Li. And Awkwafina is funny as hell throughout and delivers the right amount of, yes, I am of Chinese descent, but I was raised in America, wide-eyed fascination about this insane journey that they are on. Also, I want to give special love to Meng'er Zhang as Xialing, who I think is excellent in the movie, and even outacts Simu Liu at times in the more emotional scenes when they're there together experiencing the same situation. People need to be giving her more love in their reviews. And I think Fala Chen as well is outstanding as Zhang Li, their mother. She's that perfect combo of a mom who is calm and knows what to say and when to say it while also being this cool mystical figure in their lives. All right, let's move on to those fight sequences. As I mentioned here, the fight sequences are top notch. Absolutely. And that's a level that we haven't seen before in the MCU. No one would blame you if you were thinking about the best of the Jackie Chan fight sequences when you're watching these fight sequences. The bus fight scene is extensive and extraordinary. The fight scene on the scaffolding that occurs later on in the movie is death-defying and wow-inducing. And the fight scenes between Shang-Chi and Wenwu, when they happen, they carry the right amount of emotion while also delivering some jaw-dropping moves from both of them. So look forward to those fight sequences. I'm telling you, you will instinctively clap after each one because you're going to be so blown away by the choreography, by the pacing, and by the near-death moments that happen in those fight sequences. Also, the design of the more supernatural and mystical elements of the movie will give you a whole new appreciation for Chinese lore and the legends in these Chinese tales. The design of every mystical creature is unforgettable and truly beautiful and charming. But the number one thing that worked really well for me is the story. I mean, you can have all the great acting you want, you can have all the great fight sequences that you want, but if you don't have a story that people can connect to and find themselves experiencing as they're watching it in the movie, then the film isn't going to 100% work. Well, there's no worry for that here in this movie. The story is great. I absolutely connected to Shang-Chi right off the bat. I mean, I think all of us have, well, a lot of us have had that experience where our parents want one thing for us and we want something else. And we have to kind of break away from that so we can stand on our own 2 feet and walk confidently our own path in the world. Also, how many of us don't have that awesome best friend that we can hang out with that really understands us and we can talk about with? And in the Shang-Chi Katie situation, there's also the added aspect of the fact that, of course, there's a Chinese American culture here that he is connecting to, gravitating to, and that helps him still be connected with home, but also still be American in his approach to the world and live an American life. And then, of course, you've got the combo of speaking Chinese and English at the same time. As a son of immigrants, we did that all the time with Spanish and English. And then also having that sibling or patriarchal or matriarchal rivalry, that's all there throughout the movie as well. So there's a lot of universal things that we all experience as human beings, no matter what culture or country or you're from or language you speak. We all can connect to that. And I think that comes through powerfully throughout the movie for sure. All right, so some of the things that I didn't like, I think the back half of the film isn't as strong as the first half. I mean, that first half of the film, you are watching maybe one of the best MCU movies ever made, maybe even in the top 5. And I think it stumbles a little bit towards the end of the movie. There is a cameo during this back half of the film that I won't reveal here that almost threatens to derail the movie, in my opinion, into this kind of goofy land. But the film writes itself just in time for a powerful climax. Also, there are certain situations that are allowed to happen during the back half of the film that someone with the power of the 10 rings could have easily stopped from happening. So you wonder why a guy who can fly and destroy everything in his path would allow certain things to happen under his watch and not do anything about it. Just seemed a little odd for me overall. Also, as a comic book fan and a fan of the character of Wenwu in the comics, I think they smoothed down the edges a bit too much for him. I know we were countering, or they wanted to counter, the Trevor Slattery Mandarin from Iron Man 3, but I think they didn't go far enough in the other direction for my taste, just for my taste. I get why they didn't go that direction, but I wanted to see just a little bit more from Tony Leung, really embracing the menace of Wenwu. We do see him have it bubbling under the surface, and there are certain moments where he shows what he can really do, but I wanted to show this guy with a little more evil beats, so we could be challenged a bit more as a viewer throughout the movie when certain things start to happen. Also, Marvel does default into this trope again where the villain and the hero are essentially mirror images of each other with somewhat similar powers. And I think that kind of takes a little bit away from what could have happened here throughout the movie in their numerous confrontations, both physical and otherwise. But all this stuff is just nitpicky stuff from me. I had an excellent time watching the movie in the theater with the Geek Buddies at the El Capitan. We could not stop talking about it afterwards. Definitely going to go back and see it a couple more times. Certainly taking the Lady Outlaw to see it for our stereo show that we do, rewatching all the MCU movies. I think she's going to love it as well. And I think you're going to love it for sure. My overall rating for this film is 4.5 cowboy hats. 4.5 cowboy hats for this film. Could have given it 5, but that back half of the movie just kind of, there's some things that I had to kind of ding it for, so it drops it down to 4.5. 2.5, but that's an excellent score for an MCU film. And this is one of the best origin films they've ever done in the MCU. So you should feel secure in that. It is the stuff that dreams and legends are made of, a wildly imaginative Marvel movie that is both emotionally grounded and steeped in the fantastical lore of the Chinese culture. It's got charm for days, jaw-dropping imagery, stunning action sequences, and Simu Liu, who is charming, dazzling, and damn flexible in the lead role for sure. Tony Leung and Michelle Yeoh, as I mentioned earlier, they almost steal the movie with their class and style. Awkwafina is a treasure, and Meng'er Zhang, as I said, absolutely brings it as Zai Ling. Y'all are going to love Shang-Chi. Take it from me. I just have a feeling you are. All right, well, that's my review here for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. When you get a chance to watch the movie, let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments section below. Certainly, the Geek Buddy is going to be doing a spoiler review. I think we might do a non-spoiler review ourselves on an upcoming Geek Buddy show, so look for that as well. All right, if you want to follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And, of course, I'd appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. That would be so awesome. Subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that bell button so you see when we're dropping all the new content. Then head on over to Twitch and follow me on Twitch, The Outlaw Nation, all one word. You can subscribe and follow me there. And also head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/John Rocha. Get 2 hangouts a week, get all the watch-alongs and hangouts that we do on the Discord as well. And it's a great group of people that you will want to hang out with more and more once you become part of the Patreon. All right, don't forget my podcast as well, The Geek Buddies, The Cinephiles, and The Top 10. Go and listen to all that as well. All right, be well, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you next time with another review here from the Outlaw Nation.
Okay, oh cool, at least you know I made it. The keys to the